secure. If the citizens are not secure, then what other dividends of democracy will tickle? Because if there is no security, businesses cannot, schools cannot operate, the army cannot function effectively. So, faith in a situation where the first citizens are fair. Secondly, you come to the general well-being of the citizens. What is the situation of Nigerians today? What is happening to poverty? What is happening to hunger? What is happening to unemployment? But in some of this, you will discover that Nigerians are worse off than when they were in 1999. So, basically, if you're rejecting dividends of democracy in 27 years, will be a question of how you look at it and how everybody look at it. But to me, we have performed woefully, and there is of course nothing democratic about us.
All right. Okay. Now we have had repeated calls for a single term tenure for the presidents and the governors, just like last week. Uh, Senate leader, that's Opeyemi Bamidele, repeated or repealed the call for a 6 year single tenure. Is this in the right direction? How exactly is this going to shape things for the better?
Attempt to explain fundamental failure, but there is nothing basically that has to do with tenure there. Tenure is not even the issue because we have seen leaders that succeeded in transforming their societies within the short span of time. And 4 years is a good time for anybody to make impacts that will convince Nigerians to the election. So, to me, the single tenure thing is just an attempt to explain the monumental failure of leadership. I thought they are now relocating the blame game to tenure. If you look at the question of tenure, they had the opportunity to buy SUVs for themselves. They have opportunity to increase their allowances within that. The time is not too short for them. They have opportunity to buy airports for the president. They have opportunity to buy plan for him to renovate his policies. That was not of the essence here. But when it is to do justice to Nigeria, time becomes the issue. Tenure becomes a question. To me, I think just attempt to explain tenure and nothing more, nothing less.
All right. Then let's have your panacea for rich dividend of democracy for Nigeria.
In the past 27 years, transformation in the communication industry, that time we cannot actually deny it. I think that is one sector that has basically been transformed, and today is a major player of labor. But what again will I look up to? Maybe to say that the politicians have been able, the politicians in government have been able to transform themselves, and they're looking better, stronger than they were when they entered their federal offices. While Nigerians languish in poverty, hunger, follow their children are kidnapped, they are in the forest. Nigerians have turned to God and more prayerful. Also, they have been lamenting and crying every day. And the story for them is that democracy, more or less, has not helped them much. That is is my assessment. It may look subjective, but others will have some sweet stories of propaganda to offer.
Okay. Just before we let you go, we're still taking calls as well from listeners, so they get to ask questions, and of course they get to also air their views while you're here. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Factfile. Hello. Yeah, good morning, and welcome to Factfile. Okay, 0912-423-0865. That is the number for you to call to be a part of the show. All right, this is Factfile. Seriously, hello, good morning. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from. All right, Emmanuel from Ajegule.
We can talk about what the president address.
I beg your pardon?
Can I deviate a little bit and address what I talk about the president's address?
I'm sorry, you cannot deviate. We have a particular topic, a national discourse at hand that should be addressed.
Talk is addressed to us in the listener.
It is, but however, we are actually spotlighting this particular topic and not what you're about to address. Of course, but then they still hit the nail on the head. Thank you very much. No, you actually made a request before that, and that is what I will be answering. Thank you very much for your contribution. 0912-423-0865. That is the number for you to call to be a part of the show. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. You're welcome to Factfile. What is your name and where are you calling from? And you too.
Yeah, this is Samuel Chima.
All right, Chima, where are you calling from?
Calling from Abuja this morning.
All right, Chima from Abuja. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, somebody spoke my mind. I think the last record asked us to you see, we need to do this people of purpose. That 6 years they go there now. If you effective, democratic, and then people are that would be, and that should be strengthening the fact that if they don't perform in 2 years, National Assembly, State Assembly should have the way of impeaching that person. If the people complain that you are not performing, the recall process, let me put that, should not be made cumbersome. The impeachment process should not be made cumbersome. And that will be only when the legislature is independent. They are not dependent on the executive. That's only when it will happen.
Okay.
Where they are their break and call, they pocket them in their drama, they pocket them in their manner, and in the legislation now. They will not even be bold enough to confront such a person. So let's strengthen this institution. The arms of the country to be meant to be independent.
All right.
The oversight function. That's the problem in complex with this money.
Thank you very much, and bless you too. Comrade Solomon, the last caller just made an observation. He actually supports the postulations of the first two callers, saying that if they're going to be supporting the singles 6-year term tenure, under 2 years, if a sitting governor or president is not performing, it would have to be impeached. However, they need the legislative arm of government to be independent from the executive arm of government. What's your take on this? In a minute.
Where it made through constitutional reform and achieving it will be impossible because the constitution requires two-thirds majority of the state, and the state assemblies as it is now is is controlled by the state government, who are beneficiaries of this failure. So it's not going to be possible. There are many Nigerians kept arguing that the source of the 1999 constitution is our major problem because it was donated by the military and not given by the Nigerian people. And that section 1 so lies against the same, but saying with the people. So if you see the issue is impeachment is going to be impossible with the foreign state here because every governor contesting election sponsors the members of the House of Assembly. So the state legislature is more or less like an extension of the office of the governor. The Constitution provides that before spending a kobo of the state assembly must approve it, must approve it, even before borrowing. But what we have in practice is that most of the governors borrow money and don't call the speaker into a person to sign. Instead of going to the parliament or the House of Assembly, debating it, allowing the citizens to come and also contribute whether they want government to borrow money on their behalf or not. So the government now is run as a personal estate of the person in power. And that is, if you criticize the governor, you'll be arrested. If you criticize the president, you'll be arrested. There are no more public servants. They are more or less like lost onto themselves, and Nigerians are their servants. So this is the situation we are dealing with. Therefore, impeaching anybody is not going to be mere academic science.
All right, Comrade Solomon Daniel, I want to say thank you so much for your contribution on today's national discourse. We sincerely appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. All right, that was a former Minister of Youth and Sports, Comrade Solomon Lalong, this morning on Factfile. Well, this is where we get to drop anchor on the show. So, whatever your position, constitutional reform should ultimately serve one purpose, and that is improving the lives of the people and strengthening democratic institutions. As Nigerians, we must continue to ask questions. You see something, you definitely have to say something. All right, let's hold our leaders accountable, and of course, let's continue to pray for Nigeria. This has been a production of YEWANDE. My name is Olayin Wajo Oshini. A very good morning to you.